Okay, that's more like it. We are live, and I'm going to make my weekly hitchhiker journal. So I'm just trying to line this up. This is 11 by 14 paper. This is 11 by 14 Vision mixed media paper. This is Strathmore Vision mixed media paper. And usually I just work with one sheet off the pad. So I think I'm going to do that because I don't want to mess up the paper right behind it. Sometimes I leave it on the pad and then sometimes I tear it off. I always like it better when I tear it off because then I'm not as careful. But let's see. Try to get it all straight and lined up. Here we go. I think today I am going to, I'm so tired of pastels. I think I'm going to start by scraping some paint. Just starting with some dots. And my cat is sitting right here next to me watching the dots go down, and I'm afraid she's going to reach her hand out and try and like touch one. This is matte acrylic paint. And I got a lot on here, so sometimes I just wipe the excess off on another thing. Let's see if I have another thing around here. Like my everything journal. That's where it belongs. The excess paint can go on another background. I'll try to do less. What is that on the back side? I don't know. Try to do less paint next time. Let's do a little, I'm obsessed with yellow ochre lately. Actually, this is yellow oxide, but same. I find yellow oxide and yellow ochre to be very similar. Hi, Jana. We had a big old thunderstorm last night, which was very exciting. And then this morning, my excitement was, well, not excitement, my sadness was a bird flew into my window. It was very loud, very tragic. And now I don't know how to get rid of her little sweet body. Very sad. I'm going to wait it out. I think maybe a creature might, I don't know. We'll see. Otherwise, after our session here, I'm going to go bury her. So yellow ochre and a green blue light are the two colors that I started with. And I like this matte acrylic paint because it's so easy to write over top of. I love that. Yes, and good old Catalyst Wedge. Always a winner to get paint down and get it thin enough that it's dry already. I love that because then I don't have to pull my dryer out or pause. I've also really been enjoying working with the pan pastels. I think I'm going to put some pan pastel polka dots on here. And I'm still working with some, hello, Arkansas Crazy Quilter, welcome. So glad you're here. I'm using some pen pastels to put some big old fat polka dots on the background. I'm curious because the colors that I have are not, well, I think I'm going to go with the green. And if it feels a little bit dark, because I know I'm going to be writing over top of this, I can come back in with a little white. I'm going to come back in with a little yellow and make it a little more yellow-green. I'm probably going to put some white acrylic over top of everything just to knock it back. So I'm not going to be too worried at this point about how dark it is. But I did a little green, a little white, a little yellow. I wonder what this baby blue looks like. Now my sponge, you know, gets built up with color just like it does with acrylic paint. Well, that's kind of cool. Hi, Doris. So I'm gonna do that on the other side as well. Maybe I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it the same. Same colors, maybe different order. Starting with yellow. I think what's kept me from using the pan pastels so much is that they have special like sponge applicators, and I can never lay my hands on mine at any given time, so I avoid using it. And then like I just realized that a makeup sponge works great. The other thing that I discovered that works great with the pen pastels, let me find a brush, is just a regular old paintbrush. And so, you know, think of doing this on maybe some smaller areas, but it's just dry pigment. And so it goes down with the paintbrush too. Get a little bit of dark around the edge, maybe. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Like a little drop shadow. All right, now I'm getting off track. Let's just stick with what I was doing. I can do more with the brush in a little bit. You can see what you're doing, but it's lagging, causing it to be fuzzy. Resolution lower. Better. Sorry, it's lagging. My internet here is not super great. I wonder if there's anything I can do on my end. I do not know. Well, I'm going to keep going, and hopefully it won't be too bad. Or maybe when it renders later on, it'll smooth out. I don't know. I'm sorry, you guys. This new internet is really giving me fits. It's taking me a really long time to upload things these days, and it's very frustrating. It's frustrating when you're used to things working on a quick turnaround, and then all of a sudden you have to deal with not. But you guys can hear me all right? Yes? Can you hear me okay? Yes, okay, good. Well, at least you can hear me. All right, now it feels like it needs a little water-soluble pastel or something in there. These are gelato type crayon type things. And some Neocolor 2s. So the only other thing that I have going right now is all of those videos are trying to upload. So that's probably just a matter of that. And those can't be paused, unfortunately. So it may just not be a winning combo. I learned my lesson to not set off like 50 uploads at one time, because then it just totally messes me up. But let me see. Let me see if I can pause anything. No, there's just a stop, and I don't want to stop them when they've come so far. So, cancel. So, I'm going to go with it for a little bit longer. You may shorten it up because I don't want it to be irritating. And that kind of stuff is just no fun. What am I going to do? Okay, baby. Move on. Move on. Keep going. Hi, Lucy. Thanks for your help, Jana. I know I'm not going to upload a bunch of videos at one time anymore. That's for sure. No, I don't want anything textury on the surface because that's not going to be fun to write over. And I do, on these journals, I do a lot of list making and note taking and all that, which is why I'm coming in with the white acrylic right now. I'm not trying to cover up everything, but I am just activating the water-soluble crayon and lightening up the background just a little bit, maybe a little bit more than I wanted to. Hi, Lucy. I'm just going to scrape some of this out. I have a piece of cardboard underneath this because I'm protecting my new desk a little bit. And I'm getting these ridges. You can see the cardboard ridges when I scrape things across. It's funny. I really love how smooth this paper is. And it does hold up to a little, like, I can put a little water on here and move it around, but the more I like grind into the paper when it's wet, the more the fibers lift up a little bit. So I try to not get it too terribly wet and then grind in with my brush. And I also know that this is going to get folded up, so I'm not worried about any sort of composition of any. I'm not worried about anything but just getting some interesting color in the background. And I want to make sure that it's light enough that I can write over top. Here's what this week's looked like. And so you can see I make lists over top of the painting. So it's a lot better when it is lighter, or that there are some areas that I can lighten up. Now, my monthly stencil this month, which I cannot lay my hands on my copy of it, but if you guys are in the Watch.Learn.Play stencil of the month mailing, you would have gotten this monthly stencil that will put on these sections. So I can lay something over top and stencil, and then that gives it a little more lightness to be able to write on. Or, I can just write on it anyway. It works either way. And then sometimes I just don't write a whole bunch anyway. So I like the idea of doing this on Friday night, because then it's ready for me to start on Sunday with a new week. I was waiting till Monday to do them, Monday morning, and then that just set me behind a little bit. So just changing up the schedule to make it more convenient. All right, what else wants to go on here? What other? We've been using pastels all this month, and I am learning to like them a little bit more. I like using them wet. I like adding white, using it to tint color, right? So if you've got a little white acrylic paint and you want to tint it, the soft pastel does that nicely. My floors got done in my studio today. I'm very excited to get up there, and I don't know if I'm going to move things up there or not, because I don't have internet over there yet. And it's the farther I get away from this connection, the worse it is. So I'll wait till we get another line of internet. Yay for floors. It's so nice to have brand new, like a clean slate. All right. What else am I going to do here? I feel like this side is a little bit lonely over here, so flipping the paper around is always a good way to get a new perspective or a new visual of what you're doing. So I don't have anything activating this crayon right there. So let's change that. I like the color combo of that orange and the, what was it? Green, blue light. I kind of want more of that color, so I'm going to get a little more of the green, blue light on my background, and then more polka dots. Today in the challenge, the All About Patterns challenge that Dee Dee Catron and Tina Walker are doing, the pattern today is polka dots. So let's just add some polka dots to be in alignment with that pattern of the day. And polka dots always make me so happy. Bounce, bounce, bounce. More over here. These are the Kelly Wynn Conrad Color Crush Creative stencils. And they're probably some of my favorite big polka dots. Ways to get big polka dots. I wonder if I would like some squares on here. I think maybe yes. I'm going to use a Stabilo. This is a water-soluble pencil, and it's just the graphite one. And I don't know yet if I'm going to do the entire thing in squares, if I'm just going to lay some in here and there. We'll see when I move the stencil how I like it. And again, because I know that I'm going to fold this, I'm curious how these will, where these will fall, right, in the fold. How many will I get on each page? I guess it looks like I'm doing all of them. Or at least on this side, I'm doing all of them. Let's see. Oh, missed one. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think I'm going to keep doing it across, and then it's just one of the many layers. So maybe it'll go away, maybe it'll show. We'll see. I was mentioning the other day I got a wooden stool type thing from IKEA, and I'm really looking forward to painting it. And I've got it primed. I went to the store today to get sandpaper. I hate sanding things, but I know that it'll make it so much better if I sand. I've got it primed, and then the wood all, you know, the grain lifted. I can't wait to show that, because that is going to be a really fun piece when it's done. I also really realize how much I miss sitting in a super comfy chair, like, you know, the kind that hugs you when you sit down, just you can like sink into it. I was at Fred Meyer today, and just sat in some of their floor model chairs for a second. I was like, oh, this is very comfortable. The only place that's super comfortable here in the new house right now is bed. And I have one chair that's comfy, but not super comfy. Not super comfy. Okay, well, that'll be kind of fun. I know, right? A comfy chair is a must. It's honestly one of the things I didn't have any anxiety about coming up here by myself or anything. The only thing that I was anxious about is having a comfortable place to sit, because that's where I do like my most valuable thinking and processing and all that kind of stuff. So still on the hunt for a good comfy chair. All right. So maybe instead of just going over everything and activating it, I get the jelly plate out and put just that thin sheer, I've done this before, just a little bit of white acrylic, and that's going to set everything in place. I got my big jelly. I'm not even going to take it out of the package. I'm just going to use it this way. Get a little white acrylic down on it. And my brayer. When it goes down this thin, it's not like I'm just rolling it over. So it looks different when I pull it off the jelly plate than when I roll it directly on the background. So it's not as dense or solid or something. Just pulling a thin sheer layer of matte white acrylic. And gosh, I love having a jelly plate that's the same size as my 11 by 14. This is 12 by, this must be 12 by 14. It's a big plate. Yes, a multi-day jelly printing process. Ooh, that was a lot more covered up than I thought it was going to be. Oh well. Oh well, we can bring those colors back. And I picked up some yummy jelly plate grunge as well. All right, so what was I saying about that not covering everything up? I think that it will probably be okay. But I definitely do want to bring back some more of the polka dots. We don't want to lose the polka dots. And a little, yeah, I got wipes. I'm afraid, Jana, that the wipes will take away too much, but maybe not. It's a good call. I'm not going to do it everywhere, but just in a few areas that I want to. Oh, you know, it'd be really cool if you splatter splatter water over paint that was just barely put down, like this isn't very dry yet, but if I splatter water over top of it, and then I get everything that doesn't have the water droplets on it dry, which I don't really have to worry about everything else besides the water droplets, because the water droplets will stay wet longer than the rest. And some of them are showing up and some of them are not. Those show up nicely. Well, that's something. Let's scrape some more of this blue. And then maybe a little more yellow ochre. So if I'm doing this on Friday nights, now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do on Monday mornings. I still want to go live on Monday mornings on Instagram. I like that habit. But if I'm not making my hitchhiker journal, then maybe I'll work in it or work on some other journal pages. I'm sure it'll all come together. I won't even worry about it. I know, right? What is a mystery? Total bust. Lucy, that's interesting. That your jelly printing session was a bust. Tell me more. I'm going to get this dry and then kind of see where it's going to fold. I feel like I'm ready to fold it and start working on individual sections. So we'll see. once I get it dry, because I don't like folding these when they're wet for sure. I do like the colors. The yellow ochre and that the yellow ochre and the blue, the blue-green light make a interesting green. Okay, Lucy, when using the masks, I'm not sure what order to put the paint down. Anyway, I wasn't pleased with the results. Yeah, that is it. You do have to wrap your head around which order in order to protect things, but also, you know, build things up. And yes, sometimes it takes the next day, you come back to them and you like them better. I don't know. I love the simplicity of, let me find my prints from earlier today. Just like the most simple ones are oftentimes my favorite. These don't have a lot of layers on them, right? But that is super restrained. Jelly printing is just one big fat stencil. But you're absolutely right, Lucy. You've got to figure out the layering from back to front. And if you're masking things, you want to make sure that the contrast between what's masked and what's not, so that you can actually see. I don't know if that helps at all, but I think that everybody else is encouraging as well. Like it takes more layers. It takes time. But yay for jelly printing. I think I'm liking this. I think it's gonna look okay. Okay, let's see. I really do love to have the fold outs on the inside. I mean, like this, where the page turns and then this page turns, but that it pulls all the way out. And so that means that I need a folded one on the front and on the back, I believe. Nope. Front is split. And then the next one is cut open. Okay. I'm just trying to remember how I did that. So I'm going to cut this one. Do I really want to? Yes. Is it going to make the whole thing fall apart? No. we're just going to get brave and do it, because you know what? Tape will fix anything that I mess up. And I do want this front section to stay nice and secure. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that. And watch, this week I won't do one single thing on the inside. My meeting schedule here is a little bit different, whereas I would fill these up. All of this was happening while I was sitting in a meeting. I think each one of these sections took about an hour to do. And I really like them. So I like having that little flip out area to add some doodling magic. So that opens up that way. And let's just glue this one down too. I like gluing the edges, the free edges on these books together. It just makes everything line up. If the insides, there we go. Yeah, so I have four panels. I think on that other one I had 5, but this is good. It is enough. Yeah, by having those 2 ends folded down, it does secure things a little bit better. Okay, so what's going to be the front and what's going to be the back? That's as good as any. Okay, so here's how I've done my months so far. The last 2 weeks I did that stencil. The first one I stamped. I think I want to do the stencil again. But this time I'm going to do a little bit of a layered thing with another stencil. So let's do some polka dots. Surprise. I think somebody said predictable. Polka dots. I'm trying to find a very specific one. There we go. Dots and dashes. And the stencil right there. And then I think I'm going to go with a darker, like dark blue deep. Oh, I could have done that with pen pastel. Ooh. Nope. Too late. I've already got the paint poured out. Next time, pen pastel would be good. Cute. Polka dots always make it cuter. Oh, where's my pencil sharpener when I need it? I usually have no less than 3 of them sitting on my desk at any given time. But new place, means I have no pencil sharpener right here. Okay, so we'll just do the best we can. Okay, how are we going to do this? Let's see if it'll go through. I'm not sure that it will, but let's see. Yeah, I was a little heavy-handed on that. Okay. Good thing I'm not a perfectionist. Okay, what are we on the 27, August 27? Uh-oh, the end of the week is September, huh? Oh my goodness. Is that possible? Twenty-seven, 28, 29, 30, 31, 1, and 2. So next Saturday is September 2. Is that correct? Count that right? August 27. Yes, thank you. Thank you, friend. September 2. Leave it to me to, I know, doesn't seem possible. It's already September. Leave it to me to put the wrong date on. I actually did that this week. I was handwriting my days of the week, and I was doing Thursday, Friday, and then for some reason I did Sunday on the back of it. So I just covered it up with a piece of paper and rewrote it. It's all good. There's very little on this sort of process that cannot be fixed or laid over with another layer. Yikes, I know, September. Although I love September. It's my birthday month. Could I have chosen a more fiddly way to get these numbers on there? What day? It's the 28th, Jana. The 28th. I think I'll be 54. I so lose track of how old I am. Does anybody else do that? I don't remember. I mean, it just doesn't make that much difference because it's just a number, but I just constantly lose track of how old I am. Were you born in '69, Jana? Where's your birthday coming up? Yep. It was a good year. It was a good year indeed. When's your birthday, Jana? It's in April. April. Yeah, I think April 16. There we go. I think the moon landing was July, wasn't it? That was the year. I always remember the birth year for everyone, but then can't do the math to figure out how old everyone is. Yeah, I remember my birth year for sure. The day after tax day. Oh, nice. Yeah, I remember my birth year for sure. It's doing the math because it's 69. It's always weird. Like, is it this year? Is it like? Yeah, I guess so. I'm 53 in 2023 until September, and then I turn. All right, let's see what I can do to change this up a little bit because I'm not loving it at its current stage. So let's see if I have a little fine brush. I need my glasses for this, and they are right here. If I have a little fine brush, I bet I could get in there and fix it up. But I do want to color in, I think, the 27 and the 2. Not that fine a brush. I'm not that patient. I get the bulk in with the big brush and come in and refine it with the small one. I don't know who, does anybody paint with these little, I think I got it because I wanted to see like if I could. It is so fine. It's not working for me. It's a 5/0. 5/0. This should be better. A 2, a number 2 round. Let's see if that's good. There we go. The thunderstorm was amazing last night, but I had to get up and close windows because it was blowing in. Lightning and thunder. And it feels like it just quenched everything a little bit. Everything seemed a little happier this morning. All the plants seemed a little happier. Okay, well, this way of putting the title on the front, maybe not my favorite in kind of how messy it is, but I can spend more time on this and maybe backfill or something. But again, you guys, these are just, they're ephemeral in nature. They last me 1 week, and then I'll end up perhaps tearing this apart, cutting it apart, using the paper in something else, maybe. So I'm not so worried about the title of it. It's all good. It's all good. The thing is, when you do something like that and you're like, I don't really like it. Not that I don't like it, but I probably wouldn't do this again, but it teaches me, right, what I could do differently next time. So what I could do differently next time on this would be maybe a different pattern on the inside that was a little finer, that would fill up a little bit more. I can always come back in and edit that with a Posca paint marker, or like I said before, when I went over the letters a little spilling out on the outside, it's easy enough to come back in with paint and backfill around the outside. So maybe I'll do that. But I am watching the clock, and it is 7 o'clock. So that will give me something to do on Monday morning in my Instagram Live. Watch how I edit this and add to the pages. Yes, square brushes too. I love square brushes, or like these. This is a sword striper, which is usually really nice. Of course, I just got my hand really dirty. Which is usually really nice because it comes down to a really fine point when it's not all jacked up like I make all of my brushes. Let's see, go here. It usually comes down to a really fine point, and it's at an angle, so you can get some really neat lines with it. And then the other one that I love is, like, again, another angle brush, flat brush. But those are really nice for coming in around things like that. All right, that'll do it for today. Thanks for being on live with me. It's always so much fun to see you guys chatting back at me and spending time watching what I'm doing. Hope you enjoyed it, and can't wait to see what you made during our time together. Share it, tag me, and I'll be on live on Monday morning. You too. Have a good weekend, everybody. I'm going to go find some garage sales in my new neighborhoods. So that's my plan. Hope you guys have a great time. Thank you. I'm so glad you were here, Lucy. This hour, I think, hour earlier is going to be much better for me too. So, all right. Bye. Oh, nice to see you, Nancy. Bye, Jana. Bye, Doris. Arkansas Crazy Quilter. Sorry, I don't know what your name is, but we'll just call you Arkansas Crazy Quilter. Bye. Bye, Lucy.